Hey everybody, Frugal Brando here, and I hope you all are being smart with your money. So for today's video, I want to help you out, but also ask you on the very beginning a question about your money and your savings. Where do you have it, and do you know how much it's actually giving you? Well, if you have it in one of the big banks, say Wells Fargo, TD Bank, Bank of America, Santander, Chase, Univest, and even some credit unions, which usually are better. This is going to be true with them too, and I'm going to try and say this as nicely as I possibly can. They're probably ripping you off with your savings. What do I mean by ripping you off? Well, according to the FDIC, the national savings rate for the week of January 4th, 2021 was a whopping 0.05%. So it's not much, that's actually just crap. What's even worse is the fact that all of those banks that I just mentioned are most likely, actually not most likely, they are, because I did all the research, they are paying you less than that average rate. So why keep your savings account there when there are companies that will pay you 10 times that national average is the question and why I'm making this video. All of the savings accounts that I'm going to mention here shortly are going to be FDIC insured, so your money is protected up to $250,000, and all of these accounts will also not have any of the savings criteria, as I like to call it, meaning there's not going to be any minimum account balances to open. You're not going to need to have some daily set amount in this account like $5,000 every day, or else you get hit with a fee. There's not going to be a direct deposit that you have to set up. None of that. You put the money in when you want, and it's not like they're going to charge you if you don't. That's the big bank strategy, so to call it. Now, if you have had trouble saving in the past, but you've enjoyed things like the lottery, sports betting, buying scratch-off tickets, things like that, the new savings account that I have found that I have almost $500 in myself is a really cool strategy of getting people who've never saved before in the mindset of saving, and also rewarding them with chances to win lots of money and millions of dollars. So it's pretty cool, so I hope you check it out. Now, if we look at a short history on the good banks with high yield savings accounts, you'll see that right before the pandemic, a lot of them were paying well over 1%. Obviously, the pandemic rates have plummeted, but these accounts are still, as I mentioned, 10 times that national average of 0.05%. Let's say January 1st, 2019, you put $2,000 in a savings account at your big bank at a 0.01% APY. At the end of the year, you would have a whopping 20 cents on your money. Yay. Now, if you put that $2,000 in a savings account that was giving you 1% at the time, at the end of the year, you'd have 20 bucks. I would much rather have 20 bucks instead of 2 cents. And if this is money that's just going to be sitting in your savings in case of an emergency, or you're trying to buy a car, a house, you just want to stockpile cash for whatever reason, you might as well put it to good work and have it earn you some money on the side while it's sitting there. All right, now if we look at some of the interest rates by the bad banks. Now, when I say bad banks, I mean the fact that the savings account rate that they're giving you is not really that great. I'm not saying these banks are bad, like morally, ethically, or anything like that, or that you shouldn't use them for a checking account or a mortgage or something along those lines. So I guess I should exclude Wells Fargo from these lists. But anyway, Bank of America is going to give you a 0.01% on your savings for most people. WSFS is going to give you the exact same thing, but if you have a $25,000 balance, you could get a double up of a 0.02%. A similar double up happens with PNC Bank, which is another popular one. That'll give you a whopping 0.01% APY or a 0.02% APY if you have a checking account with them. Personally, I do actually have Santander Bank. They pay me a great amount in my savings of 0.03%. I only keep a little bit amount of money in my Santander savings account just in case I do need to access it from an ATM quickly or something along those lines. I do have my money in one of the online accounts that I'll be mentioning, but first let's talk about some of those criteria-based accounts that you should also just be wary of. So for an example of one of these, we have Nationwide, which is actually with AXOS Bank. In order to get the best savings rate possible of 0.70%, which is much higher than those other accounts, to meet this requirement, you are going to need a checking account and hit a $1,000 deposit every month. However, if you don't do that and you just do the savings account, you can get a 0.4%, which still blows all the other big banks out of the water, but you will need a $100 deposit to open the account. Another example of one of these criteria accounts is going to be Citadel Credit Union. They have a high yield at 0.55%, but you're going to need $10,000 to open the account to do it. Also, this is going to be one of those fee-based criteria where the times when your account, if it does have to drop below $10,000, you might just see a $10 monthly maintenance fee slapped on there just because they can do that. If you don't even hit that $10,000 balance, you're getting a 0.05%. So this credit union is at least at the national average. However, let's start talking about the real great accounts here for savings. First up on this list is going to be Marcus by Goldman Sachs High Yield Savings Account. This is one of the accounts that will be paying you 10 times the national average at 0.50%. And apparently all the work that I just did for researching the banks that paid a lower APY was pointless because right on their website, they show how good they are. There are no monthly maintenance fees, and they do not have a minimum balance to start with. So if you just have $1 sitting around and you have no savings, you could technically start with that. Now, the one thing I will mention with Goldman Sachs, I've tried digging around their website and I could not find how they compound interest. The next three that I'm going to mention do have on their website that they compound your interest daily. So the second money is in that account, it's starting to earn interest better, which does play into your rate a little bit and get you more money in the long run. Now, if you do want to go with Marcus by Goldman Sachs and you can confirm that they do compound interest daily, then they're going to be the same as these next three. If you already have a credit card with American Express, but you don't have a savings account, it might be good to check out their high yield savings account since this one is also 0.5%. They also have no monthly minimums or maintenance fees or anything like that, and their interest does compound daily, so it's pretty good. Next up, we have the Ally Bank High Yield Savings Account. Now, the reason this one is coming above the other two is because it has a pretty neat feature about bucketing your money. So if you know that you need home repairs and vet bills and you've got a car repair and you just have multiple things that you're trying to save up money to pay for, or you want that new fancy game console or whatever it's going to be, you can actually have up to 10 buckets, so to say, digitally with one savings account. So this is pretty cool. It could get you to save and also track your progress on how you are saving towards your goals. So it's a pretty neat concept there. Right after Ally, we're going to have Discover. The reason Discover and Ally are pretty much hand in hand is because Discover will offer you free official bank checks, and they will even expedite the delivery of those bank checks. So if you like the concept of getting quicker bank checks if you need, or if you like the concept of getting the bucket feature from Ally, then one of these might be good to go with. Or if you don't care about either of these and you like Amex or Marcus by Goldman Sachs, those are perfectly great too. Well, you made it to the last one, so you definitely are curious on either saving as much money as possible, or in this next case, winning as much money as possible, or you're just trying to help me out for the YouTube algorithm by watching this video to its entirety. So thank you either way. Now for the final one, this does not give you the biggest savings rate. The really cool thing with this one though is that it has a lottery system where you could win $10 million. That would be really nice for anyone to win, but we are talking here about Yotta Bank. The cool thing about Yotta Bank is the fact that the more money you save, the more tickets you get, which means more chances into the drawing to win more money. So by saving more, you're increasing your odds of winning more. You can also see the winners for the week, and if you do have friends in the app, you can also see their progress as well. So I have sent this out to a few of my friends, and they've already won more than me. So if you want to win more than me, get the Yotta app and input the referral code FrugalBrando. I don't normally do referrals or anything. The big four savings accounts for Marcus, Amex, Ally, and Discover, I'm going to have links to their page in the video description. None of those are referral links. It is a really cool savings account, especially for anyone who's never really had a savings, or if you do any of those things like I mentioned of playing the lottery or sports betting or buying scratch-offs at the grocery store because it's $5 or something. Well, you could be putting that $5 into Yotta and maybe turning that into $10 million. That wraps it up for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Here is going to be all of that fun YouTuber stuff where I beg and plead for you to hit this button. Not this button, but I would understand it if you did hit that. Hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel so far. This is the first time I'm trying it out with the new audio setup and also this new space that I'm trying. I've seen it better with a background and some lighting things that I'm trying out. So definitely let me know in the comments below what you thought of this. And until the next video, be smart with your money.